We are continuing to look at geometric solids, and so we are looking at a rectangular prism. So, a rectangular prism is just going to be something that has a bunch of rectangles on it. And so, our objective for today is that we want to find the lateral area, surface area, and volume of a rectangular prism. Now, definition of a prism is just a geometric solid formed by two parallel congruent bases. So, in this case here, we're going to have a rectangle. So, it's going to kind of look like this right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to connect by a whole bunch of parallelograms, which in this case today is just going to be a bunch of rectangles. So when we look at this, we have the lateral area of a prism. And so the lateral area of a prism is just perimeter times height. So let's first take a look at this. The first thing we need to find is the perimeter. Now, if you can't tell what the base is, I would just recommend saying that your base is whatever it's sitting on. That's the one of the best ways that you can do that. If you have something like a hexagonal prism, then it's going to be the hexagon and the hexagon that are going to be the bases, and then all the rectangular faces there are going to be the part for the lateral area there. In this case here, since everything's a rectangle, just take whatever it's sitting on as your base. And so I'm going to say that that's my base right there. So the perimeter, I have 7. If it's a rectangle, then that means that this is 7 centimeters and this is 5 centimeters over here. Because remember, a rectangle has congruent sides that are parallel to each other. So the perimeter, just add all of those up. So it's going to be 7 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5. And so when I do that, I end up getting that my perimeter is going to be 24 centimeters. And then the height, since I used these numbers here, my height is just going to end up being 3. So I would say my height is 3 centimeters. And so now I just need to input those values into my equation. Lateral area is perimeter times height. And so my perimeter is 24. My height is 3. When I plug those two things into my calculator, I get 72. And its area, so it's going to be square centimeters. Now, surface area is going to be very similar, but now all we have to do is we just have to add the area of those two bases in there. And so we just said that the lateral area is going to be 72 centimeters squared. So we've got that done. The area of the base. Well, to find the area of the base, it's just going to be length times width on this. And so this would really be my length, and this right here would be my width. So my length is 7, my width is 5. So I would just say 7 times 5, which comes out to be 35 square centimeters. So that's the area of my base. Now to find the surface area, I just have to plug everything into my formula. So surface area is equal to lateral area plus 2 times your base. So my lateral area is just going to be 72. And then my base is going to be 35. So 2 times my base. And so that's what I have there. And so now when I get that, when I do 2 times 35, that gives me 70. 70 plus 72 is just going to come out to be 142. And again, it's area, so it's square centimeters. That's my surface area for a rectangular prism. Now, volume, this one is going to be something that you probably are familiar with if you are in high school geometry, and it's just going to be the area of the base times the height. So again, basically taking the shape that's the base and you're just stacking them on top of each other like that. This one here, if you remember from back in elementary school, this one really was just length times width times height. That's what you've got. Well, the reason why is because the base was just length times width. So height, we've already said that our height is going to be 3 centimeters. The area of the base, which we just did over here, is going to be 35 centimeters. And then now we just need to input the values into our equation. So volume is equal to base times height. So the area of the base is 35. Our height is just going to be 3. And when I plug that into my calculator, 35 times 3, I just get 105. And then that's going to be cubic centimeters. And so that is going to be the volume of my rectangular prism.